So scumbags known as squatters have taken over the country. They're taking over and seizing homes all around the United States. And guess what? Now they have real estate agents who are basically going out there and saying, hey, we've got you covered. You want to squat? You want to take over some house and live rent free? Bro, you have rights. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
I'm Bradley, and I'm the first real estate agent to take care of all of your New York squatting needs. So this right here is a wonderful pre-squatted 4-bedroom, great for entertaining, fantastic starter squatter for a new couple if you want to start small. You know, there's a lot of people in New York that want to be a homeowner, but they're not interested in putting a down payment on a house. There's actually a multi-family unit that's going to be going on the squatting market real soon. Really nice bones on this one. Hello? I think we're still good. So we got 2 empty garbage bins here, which is a really good sign that some vacancies might be opening up. A lady actually just inherited this place, but she's insanely busy with the funeral arrangements at the moment, so plenty of options for squatting start dates. Have you noticed that these people have been gone for a while?
No.
We follow the travel schedules of New York residents to help you find the perfect house to take over by squatting in it. Are you a homeowner? Traditional or squat? You the owner of this one?
Almost 30 years.
Did you ever go on long vacations?
Yeah.
When's the next one planned?
This summer.
August or?
End of August.
Also, when you do the August trip, if you wanted to extend it a little longer, you know what I mean? It's an option. Well, you never say never. Could be 3 months. So we can probably start doing some showings there late August. I'm always doing market research. I'm always looking for new leads of properties that could be right for you. No ring cam, that's good. I'm gonna give this one another couple of days, and I think I might start doing some showings here. We do property showings, create fake leases. And I've developed relationships with law enforcement to help ease the transition by having the previous owner arrested if they do try to kick you out. They got that glass that you can't really see through, so I took some pictures last night from a building over. So the owner here apparently has plans to go surfing in Australia for a few months, so gonna be a costly trip, mate. I think I was seeing there. You know, I always work with some of the local travel agents to collect intel on the neighborhood. If there's any way for us to get some addresses of people who've gone on vacation and maybe how long they're going for.
Can you not take a...
Well, we're just trying to document our process of finding out.
You're not allowed. You don't have anything. You're not allowed.
Well, we can make it worth your while.
I don't care what you want. Can you please leave?
Should we set up a meeting with you guys? Is there a better way to do this?
Please leave.
Well, we're just, you know, we're also in the industry.
This is some real scumbag stuff, y'all. This is some real scum. So these people, you know, shout out to the creator of this video, Ryan Long. I'm gonna link his channel description of the video. You can go and check that out. Shout out to Ryan Long. But I mean, this is just the reality right now, guys. This is the reality right now of what's happening in Western society. These properties are being seized. They are being taken over. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, you know, and we're seeing outright standoffs. There are some cases where the cops are getting really nasty, though. There was a video where I just can't play the video because it just gets so bad, and you know, I like to make money from my videos, so yeah. But it's a video on YouTube, but like the cops, they didn't play around. It was literally like mess around, find out. And they went absolutely ballistic on some squatters. So, you know, and that was in that case, but in most places right now, the squatters will let you know that they have rights, they have strategies, they have lawyers. These people have lawyers, and then, you know, for example, if the police come knocking on the door, the squatters have been instructed by their lawyers, do not approach the door, do not speak to law enforcement. And basically, if they don't open the door, there's nothing law enforcement can actually do because they haven't committed a crime, and so they cannot legally enter the residence without a warrant. Guys, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we see that over in Florida, they've actually just like signed a new bill into law that basically restricts or removes squatters' rights entirely. But it's crazy what's happening, where, you know, they can just come and they can take whatever they want. You know, men are basically being arrested for living in their homes. You know, men are being it's insane. This is the society we now live in. This was done on purpose. This was done deliberate so that you will own nothing and be happy. All right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, you know, even if you own it, do you really go out of town for a little bit, you know, step away from, and you know, it's your word against theirs. They could say they've been there for 3 months. They can say they've been there 3 months. You could say that's not true. I just went out and came back. They can say that's not true. They've been living there, you know. And then the moment they say they've been living there for a certain amount of time, sometimes it just has to be 10 days. It's their word against yours. It's their word against yours, and they basically produce some bullcrap, you know, something written on a piece of paper saying that it's a rent receipt. Doesn't matter who signed it or whatever, but you know, show that to the cops. The cops have to accept it as legitimate. It goes before a judge, and they have the attorney right there, and the attorney is walking them through the process. It's actually way cheaper to keep squatting there. It's way cheaper to keep squatting there and avoiding having to pay rent, because some of these people have jobs, than having to actually do anything else. So it's cheaper to just basically pay the, you know, cover the cost of an attorney than having to cover the cost of rent. How much is the attorney going to cost you? He might charge you what, a couple $1,000s to represent you, maybe not even that much when you think about it, versus what, 30, 40, $50,000 a year in rent if you're living in some place like New York or places in Texas or Florida. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. I was trying to do the New York accent. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm so sad. But anyway, it is what it is. Guys, the reality is that you will owe nothing, and this is what they're getting for. This is what they're gunning for.
Squatters' rights dominating national headlines in the recent weeks, but what is the law here in Texas?
Fox's Jordan Elder talked with a homeowner in San Antonio who is having a squatter issue and what you can do to protect your property.
Squatters breaking into my house again through the window.
Abram Mendez and his wife bought this home and hired this man to do some tile work. They allowed him to stay a few days, even made him sign a contract saying it was short term. But now they say the man won't leave.
We're not talking even a month yet. I believe today would be a month. And he had his long game already in mind.
Mendez says the man has barricaded the front room of this house. He's claiming squatters' rights.
I didn't allow you, I didn't allow him.
I can show you his rights.
But attorneys we spoke to say that's not how squatters' rights work in Texas. They say the man is a squatter, but he hasn't met all of these requirements to claim adverse possession. And the Mendez family is moving forward.
Care property and put it to good use. It is not designed to reward bad behavior.
Hug.
Because it's not a victimless crime.
Elder, Fox.
Jordan, thank you. In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott addressing this issue on X a couple of days ago, saying in Texas, anyone squatting in your home is breaking mischief. He goes on to say the Texas Castle Doctrine empowers Texans to use force to defend themselves and their.
These scumbags are just moving on in, taking what they want and basically saying, you can't stop me. You know, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing that this is what America has come to. And then I see idiots in the comments who are, we're not providing housing to the homeless. A lot of these people aren't homeless. They're moving themselves in. They have possessions. They have TVs, refrigerators, all kinds of stuff. They are moving in, hanging decorations. Okay? These people don't want to struggle and suffer like everyone else, or they don't want to spend the money. It's basically like, okay, well, if I can't afford affordable housing, then I'm just going to steal. Guys, America, Western society has fallen. It has fallen. That's the middle in Western society. Half of all people in Western society right now, if you're not being provided for by the government, you know, like if there's no affordable housing, okay, well, it's okay to steal from millionaires. They're just average everyday people. Let's say they inherited the property, you know. They're not rich people. Doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. Listen to me. Guys, these people are such scumbags. They're absolutely take whatever I want. This is one of the reasons why I said like Gen Z, they're such a chose to restrict speech. They chose to do these things. You know, guys, everyone wants to blame someone else. We live in the victim. Everyone can be a victim except for men. Okay? Especially white males. But you know, generation from other generations, because they know life isn't fair. They get a piece of it. But guess what? if it doesn't work out for them, if they don't get it, they'll just shrug their shoulders and F off, like most Gen Xers have done. All right, you'll never hear from them ever again. That's one of the reasons why Gen X is the only is about blame the silent generation, blame the silent generation and the greatest generation. Blame his parents and his grandparents for the way society is. Don't blame his. It's so pathetic. That's why I've moved on. And you see how you just look at how pathetic this looks. You realize it doesn't matter. Like, you know, you're gonna have to figure it out for yourself. And then people are out here trying to no, Jay to blame for this. Come on, y'all. Oh, you didn't raise Gen Z properly. Do you remember the same garbage that they put out there saying, oh, you know, this generation was raised by television, and you know, they look, guys, it's BS. It's total BS. Oh, this generation was raised by the radio. This generation was raised by television. This generation was raised by smartphone. This generation was raised by social media. Guys, what's next? This generation was raised by the metaverse. It's just endless BS. These people chose to do what they wanted to do. Okay? They absolutely did. When they were growing up, mom was always home. You know, they were being picked up from school, driven to school. They're not going to want to give their kids anything. They're going to be very, very, you know, just slimy people. And they're going to say things to their kids like, when I was growing, you know, like, they're going to, oh my God, they're going to find everything to complain about. Like they had to suffer. They couldn't buy food. They couldn't afford anything. Their lives were so different. The people from 200 years ago, the elites from 200 years ago, for the way society is today. 200 years ago? I'm calling him little bro. Little bro went back to a boomer. Little bro went back 200 years? No. Guys, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It's up to you to do the best you can. All right? Even if that's just doing as much as you can to survive and get by and live, you know, and say a prayer maybe along the way. That's it. Sometimes that's the best you guys. If you're enjoying the content, gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me, there's a link to it in the description of the video. Go check it out, subscribe to the channel, support my work. And I also have another channel for you guys called Men Walking Away. This channel is also linked in the description of the video. And if you're enjoying the content on the Angry Guy channel, if you're enjoying this kind of content that you're watching right now, you can head over to the Men Walking Away channel, where I post more videos like the kinds of videos that you're seeing on this channel. So if you want even more of this content, head over to the Men Walking Away channel, check that out, and, you know, subscribe to the channel, enjoy the content, support my work. And there's a link to it in the description of the video, along with a link to the Angry channel. What do you guys think regarding all of this? You know, a New York real estate agent for squatters has emerged. I think this is insane, but this is the reality we now live in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away. And cheers.